Good to have you with us today. Just a little update on a few things in terms of those who are sick or hurting or grieving. And one note is, I wanted to show you, ask you if this matches map. I went to look in my purse over here for a cough drop, and this was in a package. It was all nice and fresh. That somebody this summer went up to Peggy Gray's in close to Camp Judson. I'm not sure who that was. It might have been the Wildlands or somebody else. Anyway, they came back with a wax lip for me. I don't know why, Dick, I like to chew on those wax lips. And so years ago at camp, when the kids made a petition, could they, if they got a counselor to take them, could they go to Peggy Gray's candy store? And I would always tell them, yeah, you can go, but you have to bring me back a wax lip. So I ended up getting wax lips all over the place. We should have made a deal with Peggy Gray's years ago that they would give us a cut of the tape, because some of those kids really got the candy big time. If you can notice in your newsletter, Lee Simpson, really he's all that's left of their family. It was nice when we went to the funeral in Wheeling. He had two cousins that were there, but one lives in Cleveland and Columbus, and one lives in Bowling Green, and he has an aunt in Wheeling. But Lee is taking up residence in Jack's house now, and so the address is the same as it would have been for Jack. But send him a card. It'll mean a lot to him. Stephen, don't you agree? I think Stephen and I rode there and back with Lee. I think this is one of those times in your life where you're open to thinking about spiritual things and eternal things, and some good really may come out of it. Gail Wheeler continues to be heavily sedated with antibiotics, and she's just fighting with pleurisy and bronchial problems. And Amy Rossi is home, but not real chipper just yet, so please keep her in your prayers. Hopefully she'll get to feeling better. Burnett Stewart, please keep him in your prayers.
He's doing pretty good. Good. He goes up and down there.
Getting hot up here.
It's hot here.
Yeah. Could you just turn it up?
Yeah.
It's hard to please everybody, Keith.
Only a couple, 2 degrees.
Yeah, it's real sensitive. And Trudy, Keith says, are coming home Tuesday, and then will be with us for just a little while before they go back after Thanksgiving. And then Bob and Maggie Miller are on the way for their 40th anniversary. They're in California today and this week. Would you bow in prayer with us? Father, thank you for all of your blessings. There are so many and so wonderful. We often take them for granted. We pray that you will help us to appreciate every day. And for all of these that we have mentioned here this morning, you know their needs greater than we do, and we pray that you will bless them and help us to be a blessing to them. And be with us as we study today. Through Christ we pray. Amen. Can't cool down, man. Let's go to Exodus 32, and I'm going to pull up Dick Moss. He likes to get up here where he can hear good, and I'm going to try to get away from the heater for just a minute. Moses, he came down the mountain. He's on the mountain. How many days and nights? 40. Maybe we could say, well, that's part of the reason the people became impatient. They are, after all, on a sojourn that seems a little bit misguided at this point. They're supposedly going to the promised land, but it's not a swift route, at least not at this juncture. We could say, try to justify their behavior, but really there is no justification. Moses is told by God while he's up on the mountain to go down because the people are making an idol. Try to put yourself in the shoes of Moses. He must have, I don't know how long it took him to descend the mountain. I don't know at which juncture he picks up Joshua, if Joshua was actually way up the mountain with him or if he left him part of the way up. But Joshua, as they begin to walk down the mountain, you wonder about the conversation, what they were talking about. And of course, God having revealed to Moses what happened, you wonder if he was just simmering all the way down the mountain. And then when they get to, let's see, verse 15. Moses, Exodus 32, verse 15. Then Moses turned and went down from the mountain with the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand. This is significant here. I'm interrupting a sentence, but this is worth looking at sometime in more detail later. I think there's a lot more here than what meets the eye in a casual reading. I'll read verse 15 in its entirety now. Moses turned and went down from the mountain with 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand, tablets which were written on both sides. They were written on one side and the other. And then add verse 16, and the tablets were God's work, and the writing was God's writing engraved on the tablets. There's a lot of scholarly discussion about this written on both sides. That tables of stone, how does that come to be? But anyway, we'll explore that at some later time. So Joshua, we pick up Joshua in verse 17, and it says, Joshua heard the sound of the people as they shouted, and he said to Moses, "This is the sound of war in the camp." He didn't know if it was, he went on to say, it's not the sound of the cry of triumph, though, nor is it the sound of the cry of defeat. It sounds like something related to war, but I can't quite put my finger on it. It doesn't quite sound all that happy, but it doesn't sound like they're mourning. But he says, I hear the sound of singing. And it came about, verse 19, as soon as Moses came near the camp, he saw the calf, and he saw the dancing. We don't know how big the calf was, do we? It must have been a pretty good sized thing, but he picks up on it and sees it right away. And then it says, what must have been happening in the whole descent, Moses' anger burned. And what does the next part of verse 19 say? He threw the tablets from his hands and shattered them at the foot of the mountain. Was this okay for Moses to do this? Do we read anywhere that Moses was punished or penalized for doing this? And let's think of this, the answer to this in light of the comments that I just made. These were sacred stones. God had written them with his own hand, or whatever that means. And Moses comes down the mountain. This kind of reminds you a little bit of the striking the rock with the rod, maybe instead of speaking to the rock. We don't have any evidence in Scripture where God is upset with Moses for doing it seems like the kind of thing that some of us would do. I can see Vic playing that role. You'd be a good Moses, Vic. He wasn't Italian, but he must have had a little Italian blood in him. He came down the mountain carrying these sacred stones, and he sees the camp and he sees the people, and it's not just dancing. When this summer we on a Wednesday at camp, I think it was a Wednesday, I came home with Siggy, let him rest a little bit and let me rest a little bit. And then David called about 4 o'clock, and he said, "Are you coming back tonight?" And I said, "No, I didn't plan to." And he said, "Oh, are you gonna go to midweek?" And I said, "No, I'm not even planning to do that." I said, "I've got work to do here, and I'm tired." And so he said, "Okay." And so I went back to doing, actually I was doing storm prep at that time. And then an hour later he called again. And he said, we really want you to come back tonight. He said, it's talent night, and he said, my kids are going to sing a little song and they really want you to be here. And I'm thinking, oh, I've been to no talent night many times. And I was tired, and Siggy was tired. And I didn't really think anything of it, except that I just thought, you know, sometimes you think, well, they feel sad for the old director, and they want to try to bring him in and make him feel like he still wanted that. Nick, that's kind of the way I read that. So I loaded up Sig, and we headed over there. And anyway, when we got there, supper was ending, and then the next thing we know, there was a field full of campers and counselors, and they were singing "Celebrate" to Jeannie and I. They had signs, and they were dancing around a little bit. It was totally innocent. There was nothing bad, no gyrations that were. Anyway, it was cute. It was they were thanking us for 40 years, and we were standing up on the railing where the cafeteria area, and so we could see all of them out there spelling their thank you and all that stuff. It was really cool. Well, this is when it says when he saw the camp and the dancing. I don't know. I don't care what your view of dancing is. This is not good stuff. And whether it's happening half naked and the reason I say that because there's some. Look at again verse 25. When Moses saw that the people were out of control. For Aaron had let them get out of control to be a derision among their enemies. So, someone read that for us from the King James Version, if anybody still has King James. Verse 25. Anybody have it with that?
And when Moses saw that the people were naked, or Aaron had made them naked, to their shame among their enemies.
Okay, that's the point I wanted to make. So I'm not just fabricating that this might have been half-naked dancing. There are some renditions of this. Most of our more modern translations read the naked is without, stripped of any resistance, without any scruples whatsoever. That's how I get when Moses saw that the people were out of control. But the old King James reads it when Moses saw that the people were naked. You can read it either way, and maybe part of their out of control was that they stripped off their garments. But anyway, this is a bad thing, and we can't smooth it over or whitewash it. It's a serious thing. First of all, even forgetting about the dancing, the calf alone is that makes it a bad thing. But then whatever is involved. You have to ask, well, the calf just doesn't appear on its own. What precipitated the building of this calf? Why would someone want to build this calf? And all of this stuff that goes with it. But then all of the raucous behavior and maybe lewd behavior that was frequently associated, and maybe this is a carryover or a hangover from their days in Egypt. This is the way a lot of pagan people celebrated to their God. Much celebration. The word Corinthianize means to fornicate, and that's a reference to the behavior of the pagans in the city of Cortland in celebration to their God. So it got pretty lewd. So when Moses saw this, it says in verse 19, he threw the tablets from his hands and shattered them at the foot of the mountain. Why didn't he got the message up on the mountain. God told him, get down to the people right away because they built a calf and Moses could have taken the stone tablets right then and threw them down. But let's see if I can clarify just a little bit. Let's skip over to Deuteronomy 9, chapter 9. And it helps just a little bit to make a point here that I'm making, and I'm only making it because Scripture is making it here in this case. Deuteronomy chapter 9 is kind of another version of the same event. Verse 17, in the interest of time. I took hold of the two tablets and threw them, this is Moses' personal account. I took hold of the two tablets and threw them from my hands and smashed them before your eyes. The point Moses was wanting to make, what do you think that would be symbolic of? Again, the larger backdrop to this is Moses' initial mountain visits with God, and then God revealing, telling the people this, and the people will say, oh, we're going to do everything you tell us to do. Everything that you stipulate in the covenant for us to do, we will keep it. We promise. So here Moses goes away for 40 days, 40 nights, and comes back, and here's the calf, and here's all of this stuff. And Moses throws down the stone, tables of stone. It's not just an act of rage. This is just not, I don't think we read this Moses out of control. Maybe you do, but I don't read it that way. This is an act, and I think the Deuteronomy 9 says, when he says, I took the tables and I smashed them before your eyes. This is deliberate. It's not just that he's lost control of himself. He is telling, what is he telling the people? You have broken the covenant. You're not worthy of these tables of stone. We know they're going to be replaced. Maybe Moses knows that they'll be replaced. Moses isn't trying to wipe out the Ten Commandments or the tables of stone, but he's trying to communicate, and sometimes to be literal that way. Now, one more point while we're in Deuteronomy 9, which sometimes we have trouble with the chronology and when we get a couple of different accounts. Right after this, in Deuteronomy, verse 18, it says that, and again, Moses is rehearsing what happened. He says, I fell down before the Lord as at the first for 40 days and 40 nights. I neither ate bread nor drank water because of all your sin which you had committed in doing what was evil in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger. For I was afraid of the anger and hot displeasure with which the Lord was wrathful against you in order to destroy you, but the Lord listened to me also. So this tells us that, let's go back to Exodus 32. In our Exodus 32, it just says he threw down the tables from his hand and shattered them, and then it goes right on to tell us that he took the calf and what he did with the calf. It doesn't tell us anything about a second period of 40 days and 40 nights. And this adds to the overall drama, because if what provoked them to do this was impatience, we don't know what's happened to Moses. He's been up on that mountain forever. Well, he comes down from the mountain, he sees the calf, he breaks the tables of stone. According to this, he's going to grind up the calf and make them drink it. But then he disappears on the mountain again. For 40 days and 40 nights, he goes back. So it adds to the melodrama or drama here. So what did he do with the calf? Verse 20, he took the calf, which they had made, burned it with fire, ground it to powder, and scattered it over the surface of the water, and made the sons of Israel drink it. Pretty serious there. If, again, we go to 19 and 21, or Deuteronomy 9 and verse 21, I took your sinful thing, the calf which you had made, and burned it with fire, and crushed it, grinding it very small, until it was as fine as dust. And I threw the dust into the brook that came down from the mountain. And that's how he ended up doing it. Anybody questions or comments there? What's, I don't know, what's behind this? Can you think of any kind of parallel? Nick, you're smiling big.
Like kind of a funny thing, whatever. But I've heard people, okay, they try a cigarette or something, and the mom catches them, grinds it up, and makes them eat it, or something like that. Or somebody try and chew tobacco, and then somebody makes them swallow it because they got caught with it. It's the punishment that, like, all right, you want that? Now it's going to really make you sick. And plus in the reading, you can tell it goes on. They obviously get sicker. But
are you talking from experience?
Not that.
One time when I was a teenager at church in Asheville, I went over to Sherrill Hall's house. Sherrill was a big guy, a tough guy, Kentucky, West Virginia kind of a guy. And he always had a tube in his mouth, and so the red pouch was there. And I sat down, I think Larry Wheeler was with me, and I just kind of grabbed his pouch and proceeded to open it. And Cheryl said, go ahead. I said, really? He said, yeah. So I got sicker than a dog. I've never wanted chewing tobacco since that day. So that's kind of illustrates what Nick's talking about here. But this, so Moses, verse 21, carrying the story, he asked Aaron, we went over this last Sunday, well, what did the people do to you that would allow you to cooperate with them in this? And he gives this utterly ridiculous. This is the kind of excuse that you wouldn't even expect from Nicholas, Nick. First of all, Aaron says, Moses, you know me. You know that they are prone to evil. And then he says to them, they said to me, make a God for us who will go before us. For Moses has gone up on the mountain. We don't know what's become of him. I'm kind of translating there. And so I said to them, whoever has any gold, let them tear it off. So they gave it to me, and I threw it in the fire, and out came this calf. When Moses saw that the people were out of control, for Aaron had to let them get out of control to be a derision among their enemies. Then Moses stood at the gate of the camp. Now this is a step beyond grinding up the golden calf and making the people drink the gold dust. We can't afford to experiment that way, can we? To see what that tastes like. Anybody got extras that you want to? But here Moses stands at the gate, and Obviously, he still has control of the people and still has authority over the people in spite of what's happened here, which may tell you that this was a minority group taking the lead. How often does this happen? We see this all over the place, really, that just a small bad element, a few bad apples can spoil the whole bunch. So Moses, all the sons of Levi gathered towards him. Whoever is with the Lord, come to me. All of the sons of Levi come, at least. And then he said to them, thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, every man of you put his sword on your thigh, and go back and forth from gate to gate in the camp, and kill every man his brother, and every man his friend, and every man his neighbor. That's rather somewhat obscure or obtuse kind of a command. We're not given a whole bunch of details here. We don't know if just the sons of Levi came to stand for the Lord, or if that's just the emphasis because of their place in the society as spiritual leaders. And how do they know who, or maybe they just know who was guilty and who wasn't. So if we follow this through, it says, verse 28, so the sons of Levi did as Moses instructed, and about 3,000 men of the people fell that day. Again, we could ask, why wasn't it 30,000? Why wasn't it 300,000? If they were 1 million plus strong, or however many of them, what was this building of the calf thing? Was it so widespread that everybody was involved in it? So this may tell us that it was a minority element that was working this, and somehow the Levites with their swords were guided by God to know who was guilty and who wasn't. Anybody have comments or questions on that? I don't mean to downplay the 3,000 people in one day. That's a serious punishment. Fred?
It seems like Aaron had a lot of guilt in this. You know, it seems like the people were pushing him, but he was the closest one. Moses, he was, and it seems like they were led astray by him.
They were pushing him, but yet you're saying he led them astray. It was a combination effort, wasn't it? They were wanting him to do what they were asking for, but Aaron did not resist as he should have. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, you wonder who come up with the idea of the golden calf. It seemed like it was him. You know, it was the people's decision also that said, oh, we're going to get gold and all this, and you know, where did that come from? I'm thinking, you know, why did he do it?
Well, that is a little bit hard to ascertain. Let's have some more comment. I think I saw Nick, and then I heard Jay, and then we'll come to Don.
You see 3,000 people fell that day, and it doesn't say, but you gotta wonder, okay, how many people died the next day? How many people died a week later, or a month later from disease and infection from it? How many people was there 300,000 that were injured from it? Was everybody injured or cut in some way?
All right, and that may sound like speculation on Nick's part, but I think if we zip down to the end of the chapter, look at verse 33 and 34 and 35. The Lord said to Moses, whoever has sinned against me, I will blot out of my book. But go now, lead the people where I told you, behold, my angel shall go before you. Nevertheless, in the day when I punish, I will punish them for their sin. Then the Lord smote the people because of what they did with the calf which Aaron had made. So they're very much, the 3,000 in one day could have been just the beginning. And we're not given specifics there. Jay?
I always think about the practicality of what's going on. So if they killed 3,000 men, they could bury 3,000 people. And part of the reason why it may not have been a larger number overall, when you think of 3,000 compared to 1 million plus that were traveling around, is what it was going to take. God's going to take 40 years. He's going to kill off all these people.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do it overnight, and part of it, I can't help but think, has to do with the sanitary fallout of what would happen if 200,000 people just died.
Yeah.
I know I'm probably one of only a handful of people in this building to do this, but I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead. And one of the things about The Walking Dead that really irritates me is, what do they do with all the bodies? All these people have died, where are all the bodies?
You know it's just a movie.
It can happen there. You know? But the other thing about Aaron that always, we look at people who make monumental mistakes. Aaron has made a monumental mistake. I mean, this is not little, this is big, this is public. I mean, we always second guess them. How could he do that? How could Peter deny Christ? How could, these things that happen? But to me, Aaron's biggest flaw was Aaron was a follower and he wasn't a leader. And when the person that he was following, Moses, was gone, he let somebody else lead.
He was too easily influenced that way. And make no mistake, God was angry at Aaron. I mean, he tells Moses that very thing. Don?
There's nothing immediate in writing of Satan and this, but when I read, when Aaron said, I sent you through the fire, or the calf into the fire, and it came out a calf. He put the gold in, and it came out a calf. And I'm thinking, it's Satan. Does Satan have something to do here with this? But yeah, it was Aaron telling the truth about that. Out came the calf that he didn't corn.
I think we can go at that from various angles. I mean, it's pure rationalization. It really does sound like a child, doesn't it? When your child is caught doing something that you've told them not to do, and
that's what I thought right away. But then I got to thinking, well, is he telling the truth about it?
But he used his tools.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. It was beyond belief. It wasn't just that he threw the gold in and out came. They have crafted this thing. Well, one thing we're not told again here is about the 40 days again that Moses goes on the mountain. And I know these logistics overwhelm us, whether it's the burial of the dead people or how I'd like to know how Moses orchestrated the grinding up of this golden calf. Was it just a Levite's job, and how did he make the people drink it? Did they not know about it? Did he just tell whoever ground it up, take it up on the mountain, pour it in the brook, and everybody drinks from the brook, and everybody's going to drink it? I don't know. But then it says, verse 22, we'll have to finish here. The Lord spoke to Moses, take also, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong chapter. Verse 30 came about the next day that Moses said to the people, you yourselves have committed a great sin, and I'm going up to the Lord. Perhaps I can make atonement for your sin. And this is where Deuteronomy tells us he goes up for 140 days. So Moses returns to the Lord, verse 31, meeting to the top of Mount Sinai. And he speaks to the Lord. He tells the Lord again that the people have committed a great sin, which the Lord knows. But if verse 32, if thou wilt, Lord, forgive them their sin, and if not, blot me out from thy book which thou hast written. Steve.
And I think to help the logistics of this slightly too is we're talking about all the stuff they have to do here. I think pretty much is they're told very right after this to leave Sinai. There's still a good long time before they actually do that because Moses moves away from him. He has to cut out the new stones to get everything. So a lot of this could be going on there. And the great tragedy of all this is later on we'll see that when Jeroboam decides he's going to to do is make what? 2 golden calves.
Good comment.
That would become their gods. So it's kind of, so.
After all this, 2 things happen. First of all, God, on the mountain, he tells Moses, I'm going to forget about this covenant with Abraham, and I'm going to start anew with you. And I'm going to make of your children a new nation. And Moses, no, you promised us. And now Moses goes up on the mountain and he said, Lord, take my life, but spare Israel, spare the nation of Israel. We'll explore that more in the next chapter. But be reading ahead on that, the next couple of chapters. Thank you.
You have dismissal.
Yeah.